From here, I'm going to take out the window guide. That's the 2 bolts on the right. They're 10 millimeter. I'm going to remove the keeper for the cable, the inside door handle cable, and I'm going to pull out 3 bolts. Those are Torx head, same size as the door, as the interior. And we're going to pull that out. We're going to pull the whole latch mechanism out, and I'll show you how to attach an aftermarket solenoid to fix the door lock problem. Okay, I've got the yellow keeper for the door handle cable taken out. I've got these 2 bolts taken out for the window guide, and this little yellow clip down here that holds the push rod for the outdoor handle needs to come loose, and that pops loose from that side. Let's see if I can do this one-handed without breaking it. If you can get between where it splits, a lot of times you can pop it right loose. Okay, so to remove the window guide, we take the handle, the exterior handle push rod out, and we pull the 3 bolts. That sucker's tight. Little bit of help there. Alright, so that's loose. Window guide comes right out. I'm just going to set that inside there. Okay, once we've got the latch loose, get a closer look at the wires and the lock solenoid that's in there. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect this rod right here, the lock rod, and you can usually weasel that out. I'm going to take my working solenoid, about $3.75 on Amazon. I'm going to work it up and in there onto that little hump, and that can just hang there. While I've got this out, I'm going to go ahead and cut the orange and the green wires. They're the 2 thickest wires on this, and since we're not going to be using this old solenoid, we're going to be replacing it entirely. I'm going to cut those. I'm going to leave myself a little in case I ever decide to put the right part in. But we're going to go ahead and cut those. Okay, so I've got my 2 solenoid wires cut. I've got my new solenoid hanging up there. And I'm going to put the lock rod back into here. Remember, that goes in from the outside. And that is a Z-rod. And it should look like that when you're done. The rod goes in from the outside. Move some of the junk around inside the door. And then we're ready to put that back where it needs to go. And I've got the latch bolts tight. Got the solenoid hanging there. And I know from working on the other side about where to put the hole. There's a little line here. If you follow that up, right about there. That should give me enough throw. I can always find corners. I do have the window up, so I won't go through and break the window. I've I've got my mounting hole drilled. Pull this up and I'm going to try to hit that top hole. Let's see how this works one-handed. Right about there. And get it started. And remember, you are going into plastic on these. So if you're using an electric, you don't need to set it on kill. Just get it tight. Make sure I have enough throw, and I can wire it. Alright, so here I've got my solenoid wired up. Got the mounting hole. Just one screw is needed. You really don't need to find the other one. If you do want to put the other one in, you're going to have to put some washers between the body and the frame here. Otherwise you'll be pulling it tight, possibly breaking it. We don't want to do that. We want it to float a little bit. And I've got some little jumper wires set up here. Let's see if it works. Yeah, it looks like I've got them backwards, because the lock button pushes up and the unlock button pulls down. So we'll just flip those around and then finish wiring. Alright, so here you can see I've done some of the wiring. Where I cut it was just a little too short to get all the way up there. So you can take a chance and cut those a little shorter and see if you can make it. I really didn't want to cut that plug in case I do ever put the right part in here. I like using these wire nuts. They seem to do okay in automotive applications, as long as they don't, as long as they're supported. I'm going to wrap some tape around those just to hold them in place a little bit better than that. Got the latch loose. I've got my solenoid loose. Alright, so here I'm putting the window guide in. Remember to get the guide around the window, behind the lock rod, behind the solenoid. Then you can put the bolts in. It does help to have the latch loose. That way things can move around a little bit, and the solenoid loose. Okay, here I've got everything tightened down. Got a little bit of tape on there. Hopefully that'll keep it out of the window. And let's see if it works. Locked, unlocked, locked, unlocked. Seems to work okay. We're going to button it back up.